Plump, poreless, and permanently glowing. The rich girl skin trend has racked up billions of views, but the routines making it happen have almost nothing to do with money. Rich girl skin is not just a vibe. It has a very specific look. Think plump, bouncy texture with a natural glow that seems to come from somewhere deep underneath the surface rather than sitting on top like glitter or highlighter. The skin looks hydrated to an almost unrealistic degree. Pores are barely visible. There is a softness to the finish that reads as effortless, even though the effort behind it is enormous. It is the kind of skin that looks like someone has never had a bad night of sleep, never stressed about anything, and drinks filtered water from a crystal glass every single morning. So why is this trend dominating 2026 specifically? The answer connects directly to a cultural shift that has been building for years. After the heavy contouring era and the full coverage foundation obsession, beauty audiences are craving something that feels more real. More skin, less product. The idea is that truly wealthy, well-resourced people do not need to hide behind makeup because their actual skin is already flawless. That framing is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it is also generating a ton of conversation. Dermatologists and estheticians have been popping up everywhere online trying to decode the trend. What they keep coming back to is hydration as the absolute foundation. Not surface-level hydration from a quick spritz of mist, but deep, cellular-level moisture that comes from consistent use of the right ingredients over time. Hyaluronic acid keeps appearing in every conversation. So does ceramide. These are not new ingredients, but the way they are being used in 2026 routines is different. Layering is everything. Multiple thin layers of hydrating products are being applied in a specific sequence, each one sealed in before the next goes on. This technique is borrowed from Korean beauty philosophy, and it has clearly found a massive new audience. Retinol is another non-negotiable in the rich girl skin playbook. But not in the aggressive, peel-your-face-off way that scared so many people away from it years ago. The approach now is slow, patient, and consistent. Low concentrations used regularly over months and years, rather than high-dose treatments that promise fast results. The whole mindset around retinol has shifted from a quick fix to a long-term investment, which aligns perfectly with the wealthy, we-can-afford-to-wait energy the trend projects. Sunscreen is also getting its cultural moment through this trend in a way that feels genuinely new. The narrative has flipped completely. Wearing SPF every single day without exception is now being framed as the most luxury thing someone can do for their skin. Protecting collagen, preventing pigmentation, maintaining an even tone over decades rather than scrambling to fix damage later. The rich girl skin crowd treats sunscreen like jewelry, something that elevates everything else and should never be skipped. Professional treatments are obviously part of the conversation too. This is where the actual wealth component becomes impossible to ignore. Regular facials, lymphatic drainage massage, microcurrent devices, LED light therapy, and in-office procedures like microneedling and laser resurfacing are being discussed openly as standard maintenance, rather than special occasion splurges. The trend has created a strange new honesty around this, where influencers and celebrities are actually acknowledging the role of professional intervention in their skin, which feels refreshing after years of crediting their flawless complexions entirely to drinking more water. That said, the accessibility conversation around rich girl skin is real, and it deserves space. There is a segment of the beauty community pushing back hard against the wealth framing, pointing out that the ingredients driving this trend are actually available at drugstore price points. Hyaluronic acid serums, basic ceramide moisturizers, affordable retinol options, everyday SPF. The fundamentals are genuinely accessible. What is not accessible is the time, consistency, and stress-free lifestyle that actually makes a difference at the cellular level. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and environmental exposure all show up on skin in ways that no moisturizer can fully counteract. The trend quietly skips over that part. Nutrition is getting major attention in the rich girl skin space right now. Collagen-supporting foods, antioxidant-rich diets, omega-3 fatty acids, and serious hydration from actual water intake are all being promoted as internal skincare. Bone broth has made an almost theatrical comeback. Supplements like collagen peptides and vitamin C are flying off shelves. The idea that skin is a reflection of internal health is not new at all. But the packaging of it within this specific aesthetic trend is making it land differently for a younger audience who might be encountering these concepts for the first time. Sleep is also being treated as a luxury product in itself. The conversation around beauty sleep has evolved well beyond a throwaway phrase. Quality of sleep, consistency of sleep schedule, sleeping positions, silk pillowcases, and even humidifiers in the bedroom are all part of what the rich girl skin ecosystem prescribes. The message is that the most expensive serum in the world cannot compensate for consistently poor sleep, and people with truly incredible skin understand this. One interesting thread running through the trend is the rejection of anything that looks overdone. Rich girl skin is specifically anti-cakey, anti-heavy, anti-obvious. This creates an interesting paradox where achieving the look requires significant effort and often significant investment, but the goal is to appear as though zero effort was made. That tension is part of what makes the trend so psychologically fascinating and so commercially powerful. Brands have enormous incentive to keep that gap between effort and appearance alive, because it gives them infinite products to sell into it. The trend has also revived interest in facial massage and gua sha in a serious way. Not as aesthetic rituals to photograph, but as legitimate tools for lymphatic drainage, reducing puffiness, and improving circulation. The morning depuffing routine has become almost ritualistic in certain corners of the internet, with incredibly detailed tutorials on technique and pressure points making the rounds. Ingredient minimalism is another pillar worth noting. The rich girl skin approach advocates for fewer, higher quality products rather than a 17-step routine that overwhelms both the skin and the wallet. A targeted cleanser, a serious moisturizer, reliable SPF, and one active ingredient used consistently. This runs counter to the maximalist haul culture that still drives enormous engagement online, which is part of why it feels somewhat rebellious, and therefore more interesting to engage with. The global reach of this trend is undeniable. From Seoul to Sao Paulo to London, the obsession with glass-like, luminous skin has found willing audiences everywhere. Regional beauty cultures are influencing and being influenced simultaneously, creating a genuinely international conversation around what healthy skin looks like and what it takes to achieve it. The bottom line is that rich girl skin as a trend is tapping into something deeper than product recommendations. It is speaking to aspirations around health, wealth, ease, and the particular kind of beauty that reads as effortless. Whether the approach is accessible depends entirely on how it is interpreted and applied. The core ingredients and habits are achievable. The lifestyle assumptions baked into the aesthetic are considerably less so. For anyone curious about how the most flawless celebrity complexions actually come together behind the scenes, make sure to watch the video called "How Celebrities Really Get Glass Skin." That one pulls back the curtain on what is actually happening between red carpet appearances. Subscribe if you want the truth about skincare, beauty devices, and the treatments behind confident skin.